right, we're Group E. We're going to present a little slideshow on how Mary could have handled her typhoid situation a little better. Okay, so the chain of infection basically describes everything a disease or microorganism needs to successfully spread. The first thing you need is a causative agent. That could be any type of microorganism that can cause infection and illness. The second thing you need is a reservoir, and that's a place where the agent lives and multiplies. So an example of that would be the respiratory tract, um, digestive tract, food, waste, any kind of equipment that could be being used. And then the third thing you need is a means of transmission. So this could be airborne, waterborne, direct contact, or any type of blood pathogens. And the last thing you need is a susceptible host, and that's any person that is at risk of infection and any person that cannot fight an infection.
So the next step or the next slide is how to interrupt the chain of infection. So some of the things that you can do is like wash your hands frequently to make sure that you're not like contaminating anyone else. And you could do that with warm water and soap for at least 20 seconds. Another thing you could do is avoid drinking potentially contaminated water, especially like water from other countries, because like other countries usually have like Mexico, for example, usually has like really contaminated water and can cause like several infections. You could keep up with your vaccinations, sneeze or cough in your elbow, and avoid going out when you feel sick to prevent the spread. And then how typhoid spreads via the chain of infection. So the first step is the causative agent, and that could be salmonella. The next step in the chain of infection is reservoir, which could be a bacterial infection that invades the small intestine, which is typhoid fever. Like that's how typhoid fever um, like infects you. And then the next step is portal of exit, which is feces. And then the mode of transmission is contaminated food. And then the portal entry is the alimentary tract. And then the susceptible host is those in countries with contaminated water.
So Mary falls on the second part of the chain of infection. So she's a reservoir for typhoid fever. So she's basically the habitat where the infectious agent lives and multiplies. Even though she's healthy and doesn't have symptoms, she can still affect other people.
Okay. Mary, you are transmitting typhoid fever through a fecal oral means of transmission. From research conducted on your case, the only way you have been able to transmit this disease to others is through cooking. You're not the only person who is a healthy carrier in New York, and many of them are also cooks. So as long as you don't cook, you won't be able to get anyone sick.
Lastly, Mary, since you are a healthy carrier, you could be considered even more dangerous and cause more of an effect because you are, oh my gosh, comparatively to an unhealthy carrier, mainly because you didn't know that you were aware that you had typhoid and you were causing the spread of this infectious disease. And because of this, you infected numerous people by cooking the meals. And because you showed no symptoms, you continued to cook and you continued to impact so many different other people's lives.